look tired because I am tired. I'm going to attempt my observations regarding the May 22nd CDS-KT Flathead Project Meeting 2024. I haven't been to one of these for a year, and after today I can see that a lot hasn't changed. What I witnessed was the tribal hydrologist giving a lot of percentage data, talking about current LADAR surveys of full pool numbers versus what they were in the 30s, but not talking about baselines on how they're measuring the system to compare volumes. He was asked some pretty specific questions from a couple gentlemen there regarding some pump shutdowns in the Jocko, I believe Rocky Butte Crow Dam area, and this pump replacement was critical for that region. And he gave a bunch of gobbledygook answers on feasibility studies and impact studies, and yet this pump has been in operation for how many dozens of years. They want to spend $500,000 to replace this, and in the meantime, it's going to take them 3 to 5 years to get it operational. Talking about safety mechanisms built in, which is always a fallback excuse. Meanwhile, I don't know how many irrigators are on that system, but I would say, according to the one gentleman there, he said there was on the board said there was over, I believe, 2,100 acre feet that have to come through this thing on a daily basis. I might be wrong on that number. So that equates to how many irrigators not having water for 5 years because they don't have anything in place to repair the motor, to do anything at all for short-term fixes to help these irrigators out. And this is the type of frustrations that the irrigators are up against. There's just no sense of urgency. All they want to talk about is grant programs that you have to go through the DNRC, which we know what that's like because we tried that, and we were told flat out that we weren't going to get any money for improvements of water implementation because we had the wrong color skin. I mean, he said we weren't Native Americans, so we weren't going to get it. I would say that 85 to 90% of these irrigators are not tribal. So where is all that money going, and where is the oversight? It's obvious that they're using the guise of just overall delay tactics. The members, the young members, you know, I'm almost 60 years old. I guess these women are probably in their 30s, maybe 40s. A couple of guys are a little bit older than that. You know, she went on and on about their qualifications to be on this board, you know, bachelors in hydrology and bachelors in this and bachelors in that, with a few years of realistic, you know, real world experience. But all I'm seeing is that they're community organizers, and all they know how to do is try to write grants to dole out money to try to save water instead of using their education to improve the structure that's there because it's old and dilapidated. See, the baseline, from just a dumb farmer's perspective, you've got to look at your fundamentals first. And the fundamentals are what are your baseline measuring techniques to track data from year to year? And yes, they use in-stream flows and they have all these new markers that they use, and they can change the numbers on a real-time basis. But what is the chain of command to release the waters? It always boils down to confusion, chain of command, whether or not they just want to go home on a Friday night when it's 100 degrees out and not do their job. Farmers run 24/7, and that's what's frustrating everybody. So I'm going to refer back to the hydrologist. His name's Casey, a long ponytailed, probably my age, 55-ish. The gobbledygook that he talked about, the LADAR surveys of the bath ring circumference and going out with a boat and trying to map the depth of the reservoir to do their hydrology cubic feet numbers, is asinine, because he's not addressing the 1930s baseline. He's addressing the modern baseline, and they're comparing the two numbers. You have exit flows out of these reservoirs, just like a bathtub. If you put sand in the bottom of a bathtub, a cup of sand over 100 years, you're not going to have a bathtub left, even though it'll flow out. The volume it'll hold will be minimal, and that's what's, to me, the baseline negligence is. I'm not sure. I'm going to have to put in a call to him and find these survey numbers. They were very vague, whether they didn't know or whether they've been instructed to skirt around the specific questions and issues posed by some of these irrigators that were in the meeting. I don't know. I've been in 1,000 meetings like this over my lifetime, and I could only take about 30 minutes of it, because it's obvious that nobody on that board knows how to pull up their shirt sleeves. And I'm not talking about Bruce and Dave and some of those boys. I'm talking about the tribal board. I mean, they're at the mercy of the CSKT water board, from what I understand, is, and I saw a few of them there, but there's people that's been put in power there, supposedly to cover both sides of the fence, but there's a conflict of interest because they're all Native American. So how does that work? I mean, the Bureau of Indian Affairs have somebody involved. Somebody came in from California. He's obviously Native American and sympathetic. He was posed very specific questions regarding the infrastructure, because he's in charge of some of the infrastructure, especially on the pumps. And every time he got held accountable, he'd just refer back to safety issues. And that's where the frustrations come from. These farmers and ranchers are losing hundreds of thousands of dollars a year with water going downstream or not getting delivered at all because of attitudes like that. Nothing in life is completely safe, and that's that illusion that these board members they want perfection and they want a life free of fear. It's not going to happen. Now, they've got a tough job ahead of them, I give them that, but until they change their philosophy a little bit, the full enforcement and implementation in these different, the Mission, the Jocko, the Little Bitterroot, and these different regions, they're coming up pretty fast, within anywhere from 2 years to 6 years, and they're nowhere near being able to take care of this. So a question was posed regarding sunset clauses if they can't get their shit together. And the young